Who is the key player in this Final Four for Auburn?
I think it's Jared Harper. You heard Bruce Pearl after the win over Kentucky when asked about the difference in this game. He said, we had Jared Harper, and he was terrific. And I don't know if Auburn's going to be able to speed up Virginia in this Final Four matchup, but if they're going to do it, Jared Harper's going to be the guy to do it. He needs to be big for Auburn to advance.
Who or what is their Achilles heel, Colin?
Well, in the Elite Eight game, without Chuma Okeke, Auburn had a little bit of a problem rebounding when the big guys got in foul trouble. So they're going to have to keep McLemore, Wiley, and Spencer out of foul trouble so they can continue to help Auburn on the rebound on the defensive end. If Virginia's able to get multiple chances to score and out-rebound Auburn, it's going to be a long night for Auburn.
Third question, this is for you, Coach. Who or what is the X factor for the Tigers?
X factor for Auburn is their bench. Tremendous bench scoring. And they get 26 points off the bench. 26 more than anybody. Michigan State gets 14, and Virginia and Texas Tech get 11. So the bench is tremendous for Auburn. That's why they were able to survive Okeke's injury.
Gary, how about key to victory here for this 5 seed?
I think it's going to be from the three-point line. You know, if Auburn wants to knock Virginia out of this and play for the national title on Monday, they're committed, no matter what, to shooting a lot of three-pointers. 50%. One out of every two of their field goal attempts are going to come from beyond the arc. So they're going to have to be hot from beyond the arc to beat Virginia. And again, if we've seen them in this tournament already do it, if they get rolling, start knocking down one perimeter shot after another, absolutely, they're going to be playing on Monday night.
And Brent, it's not like they take bad threes. They're getting these threes in the rhythm of the offense because their guards are able to beat their guy one-on-one, get into the lane, get the help defense, then kick out to good shooters. So it's all about them manufacturing those easy looks at the basket, and I believe they will shoot a high percentage if they get good looks.
Pete Carrill, the famous coach at Princeton, said, if we have the ball, they can't score. Virginia's going to have the ball a lot, and they're very smart, not going to get many shots, so I think Auburn's going to have trouble getting into their rhythm because they're not going to touch the ball very much. All right, when they play against a team that slows it down, like UAB when you were on vacation, Brent, you know, doing the holiday parties. All right, I was working, all right, in Birmingham, and 63 up at the end of regular, 63 up.
Amazing.
Okay, so, and once again, Bryce Brown, 0 for 6, 0 for life. So, once again, the problem is now Auburn's going to have to get possessions, as Gary said. Big key.
7 tournaments as the 1 seed, most by any team never to reach the title game for Virginia. It's their first Final Four since 1984 and a program record 33 wins this season. Time now for our Final Four questions. Colin, you lead us off. Tomorrow night, who is the key player going in for UVA in this Final Four?
For me, it's going to be DeAndre Hunter in the Elite Eight versus Purdue. In key moments in that game, down the stretch in regulation, he was on the bench. We didn't know if he was hurt, he was in foul trouble, what, but he has to play better. He's a projected lottery pick. He has to come on and be more dominant. I think he has the advantage in tomorrow night's game against Auburn, but I think he has to show a little bit more fight in him because he has such a great talent and skill set. He can do it all on the court.
Pete, who or what is Virginia's Achilles heel?
Virginia has very strong Achilles heels, but the weakness they have is full court pressure defense. They played NC State in late January. NC State pressured them the whole game, got into their mug, and they won in overtime 66-65. Florida State in the semifinals of the ACC tournament. Florida State used pressure defense on and off, all right, after a free throw, after a timeout, so they don't like that. Once again, they don't lose the ball, as we all know, 9 turnovers a game, which is unbelievable, but it breaks up their rhythm. They get out of sync a little bit. They have to rush a little bit. They don't like the pressure defense. It bothers them. They don't lose it, but it gets them out of their offensive rhythm. It's a problem.
Gary, who or what is Virginia's X factor?
I think it's Mamadi Diakite. He has not been a starter all season, but Tony Bennett inserted him into the starting lineup, and he's been playing well in this NCAA tournament. Only averages 7.5 points per game, but he's gotten at least 14 3 of the past 4 games for Virginia. If he is able to give them something on the offensive end that Jack Salt just doesn't give them, it makes Virginia even that much more dangerous.
All right, let's go key to victory. Everybody gets to weigh in on this one on our Final Four questions on the who's of Virginia. Key to victory, Pete.
Virginia's transition defense. If they get back in the mud, in the glue, in Bloody Nose Lane, and get their defense set, they're the best in the country. They give up, as you know, 55 points a game, number 1 in the country in points allowed, Brent, even better than Kansas State, your alma mater. All right, they do a great job. So if they get back and slow down Auburn's great transition game, great key for them to win.
I got to piggyback off Coach. Defense is going to be the key for Virginia to win this game. We all know the the double tandem with Harper and Bryce Brown. They're going to come at you in waves in transition. Can you defend them? Can you keep those guards in front of you so that you have help defense in the back protecting the rim?
I think it's Virginia guarding the three-point line. As we pointed out, Auburn's going to take half of its field goal attempts from beyond the arc. Virginia holds its opponents to 29% shooting from beyond the arc. That ranks third in the country. If Virginia is able to keep Auburn below 30% from three-point range, Virginia's going to win this game, and I think comfortably.
Let's start with Jared Culver. Will he be the best player on the court Saturday night? Pete, you go first.
I say yes, because he does it all. He scores, he rebounds, assists, steals. He does an unbelievable job in every area. He was going to go into the NBA. He put his name in the draft, thought about it, came back out. He's an unsung hero. He's an unbelievable player, and I think he's going to be the best guy on the court. Now, Cassius Winston is super, but I'm going to go with Jared Culver being the best guy on the court.
Yeah, we got Big Ten Player of the Year, Big 12 Player of the Year in the same game, but I'll go with Jared Culver as the better player. He's certainly the better NBA prospect, projected to go in the top 10 of the 2019 NBA draft, assuming, of course, that he enters the NBA draft. And what a remarkable story. This is a guy who was outside of the top 300 in his high school class just 2 years ago, and now a projected lottery pick. He is awesome and has been awesome pretty much since the moment he stepped foot on campus in Lubbock.
You guys are way ahead of schedule on the time, so feel free to wax poetic here, Coach. I know you like to do that from time to time, and you don't have to share time with Wally or John Rothstein up here, so take it.
Can't get a word in. Once again, they're like Charles Dickens. They get paid by the word, those guys. I'm like gasping for air, so it's nice to be in. But Jared Culver's unbelievable. He scores inside. He can post up, offensive rebound. He gets out in the break. He makes good decisions on the break. He's a special player. Not a great three-point shooter, but does everything else really well.
Culver's coach, Chris Beard, is 8-2 in the NCAA tournament, 7-1 with the Red Raiders. Why is he so successful?
I think because he's established himself as just one of the great basketball coaches in this country. This is not an accident. You know, sometimes we get to a Final Four, and there'll be a team here that is a little bit fluky, like they weren't supposed to be here. Texas Tech has projected as a top 15, top 10 team all season long, and that's because of that man you're looking at right there, Chris Beard. This is a guy who has been a head coach at the Division I level 4 years. First year at Little Rock. He takes them to the NCAA tournament. They finish in the top 60 at KenPom. The 3 years before that at Little Rock, outside of the top 200. 3 years since he's been gone from Little Rock, outside of the top 200. 1 year in between, top 60, win a game in the NCAA tournament. Then he goes to Texas Tech. Good first season. Second season, goes to the Elite Eight for the first time in school history. This season, back to the Elite Eight, first Final Four. He is tremendous and has been tremendous, really since the day he got an opportunity to be a Division I head coach.
He's done a great job, but it was mentioned before, he worked for a number of years for Bob Knight, one of the best college coaches alive, dead, or yet to be born. He learned a lot from him. His defense, the physicality, the motion offense. Once again, even mentally. Bob Knight used to say, mental is 4 times more important than the physical, the mental preparation. So these guys are mentally tough, physically tough. He learned a lot from him. So he's a great coach, an unbelievable job, and he's got a chance to cut down the nets.
All right, next
Monday.
one, Texas Tech's defense is one of the best in the country. What's the key on D for the Red Raiders?
I think it starts with what Pete just mentioned. I mean, a lot of this stuff comes from growing up, being around Bob Knight, and then from talking to other coaches who play against Texas Tech this season, what they'll tell you is that they force you into shots you don't want to take. They're constantly making you do things by design that you do not want to do. And for him to, Chris Beard, get his team to defend this way and completely frustrate a John Beilein coach team, a Mark Few coach team.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two of the great offensive minds in the country, and they were helpless against Texas Tech. And that's why, like Pete said, they've got a chance to win this whole thing because they can really shut you down on that end of the court.
No question about it. They're very physical, very aggressive, certainly, Brent. But they got a rim protector. Tariq Owens, a transfer from the Johnny, St. John's. My home state. It's unbelievable. So a rim protector, he blocks shots, he changes shots, and he prevents shots, Brent. So he's a big key to their success defensively.
All right, now we're down to 90 seconds. Still have 2 topics, so we got to go quicker. Under the radar player. We spoke earlier about Culver, but who is a player under the radar for Texas Tech?
Well, I don't know if he's under the radar, but Tariq Owens is the other guy who's made a big, big difference. He got the block in the Elite Eight game that, yes, he was out of bounds when he saved it, but the refs didn't catch it, and it was a key moment in that game. He's been an incredible transfer and made a real big impact immediately.
I think Moretti. Moretti was unbelievable. Moretti, a young man from Italy. I thought he was fabulous. He's their point guard. He had a great game against Gonzaga, 17 points. I think I was stunned how good he was when I watched their upset of Gonzaga.
I have 48 seconds. One final topic. What is Texas Tech's Achilles heel, Gary?
I think they turn it over a little bit too much. About 18% of their possessions result in turnovers, so that's about 1 out of every 5. And when you are on this stage, you're going to be playing another high-level team. You cannot give the ball away that often.
I think it's scoring drought. Sometimes they struggle scoring. It's like when we go out to eat, Brent, and you have a drought in paying for some of the bills. Wow. You reach into your pocket and you got fish hooks now. But they have trouble scoring at times. They're a great defensive team, but offensively they struggle at times.
You can start with the key player for Michigan State. I think we just talked about it.
It's definitely going to be Xavier Tillman, in my opinion. Xavier Tillman is somebody who was sensational against Duke, had 19 and 9. He has really emerged since Nick Ward went out of the lineup before he came back on the injury. To me, this is the guy that I think can be the difference maker for the Spartans.
All right, Achilles heel, though. Pete.
I think ball security for the Spartans. Take care of the rock. They're averaging a little over 11 turnovers a game in the tournament. That's too many for a great team. So take care of the basketball. And they're playing a team, Texas Tech, that's physical and does a good job stealing the ball. So that's a problem.
There you go. And Nick Ward working down low. The next question for you, though, Colin, is who is their X factor?
It's the role players. It's Aaron Henry, it's Matt McQuaid, it's Gabe Brown. Those guys all during the tournament have put up big numbers in one game or another. So they're going to need that production from the guys from the bench, from the role players to keep moving forward and keep advancing.
Okay, and you see the final topic. Pete, start us off here. Their key to victory against Texas Tech.
The key for Michigan State is points in the paint. They got to get in the mud, in the glue, in bloody nose lane with drives to the basket by Cassius Winston, offensive rebounds and sticks back by the big guys, fast break, transition basket. So points in the paint by Michigan State. If they get a lot of them, they're going to win.
Colin?
I agree with him. They have to attack that backboard, the rim. They have to be able to beat the Texas Tech defenders one-on-one. And I'm speaking of Cassius Winston, getting to the lane, making things happen to break the defense down so they have second chance opportunities.
Pacing, finding a way to get easy baskets. Pace leads to space against Texas Tech. It will minimize the Red Raiders' fight. And if that happens, Michigan State will play on Monday night.
And is that your pick?
Yes, Michigan State.